TribLive.com here. Steeler Training Camp 2012. I'm Justin LeBar here alongside Pittsburgh Tribune Review Steeler writer Allen Robinson. Allen, we've been at camp now for a week. Besides the Mike Wallace stuff, which is off the field business, talking about on the field, I'd have to say the biggest story that most people are watching is the running back situation, obviously, because Rashard Mendenhall is not going to be available. So all eyes go to Issac Redman, a guy who is going from being a successful red zone third down guy that now going to have to be useful, hopefully, on all four downs.
Yeah, and they hope he rushes the way he did the last two games last year, where he had about 230 yards the last two games of the season, counting the Broncos game. Issac Redman is a pretty popular guy in this camp. You can just tell by the way his fellow teammates talk about him. He's a guy with a lot of character. They respect the fact that he came out of a small school, Bowie State, and made it in the NFL. That's been apparent ever since he had the big red zone breakout here at camp 2 years ago. And also, too, you can tell that the linemen like blocking for this guy. Linemen like blocking for a guy who runs with a lot of effort, who runs with a lot of commitment, and runs with a purpose. And that's what he does. And I think when you have linemen that want to block for you and a running back who likes to run, that's a pretty good combination.
Absolutely, definitely a very good combination. As you said, small school, Bowie State, and I don't know of anybody else that's ever came out of there and gotten to the professional level, much less had good playoff game like he did in Denver last year.
The answer is zero.
The answer is zero. There we go. Behind Issac Redman, who else on the running back depth chart, or if anybody, has stuck out to you that could be a major player this year?
Well, I thought Baron Batch obviously had a nice camp last year, and then he got hurt. I think he's been pretty good again this year. But, of course, the running back that they're most intrigued about is Chris Rainey, the Rain Man. As you can tell by he comes to practice, he wears full practice gear for all practices, and that's something you don't see here, at practice or at camp. They really like his speed out of the backfield. If you've been noticing too, Justin, at some of these practices, they've even been lining him up as a slot receiver.
Yes, they have.
What they're trying to do is trying to get him the ball in space, to quote a coach's phrase. They like the fact that he's got great speed. He was a high yardage guy at Florida at a high program, at the SEC program, which they like. But what they really like is his speed, and they're going to try to find various ways to get him the ball. And that means the short throws out of the backfield with Ben, which we're seeing a lot of that too.
Absolutely.
But like they say, you can't coach speed, and he's got speed. And when he's got the ball in his hands, he's intriguing, and like Todd Haley says, he's exciting. So they're going to work him into the offense, and a lot of those special scenario type deals.
Well, as another coach's phrase would be, is back to the lab. When we go back to the lab again tomorrow and every day afterwards here, Steeler Training Camp, as the Steelers get ready for the first preseason game in Philadelphia next week. And, of course, we'll be bringing you all that. Make sure you follow Allen on Twitter. Make sure you check out Mark Caboli and everybody else on the TribLive.com staff here out at St. Vincent's College. Allen Robinson, I'm Justin LeBar.